I'm making this video as a thank you video to the people who have started to follow me on Twitch recently and who have subscribed to my channel as of recently as well. And I think it's really hard to just say thank you because it feels very empty. So I've decided to do what I normally do on this channel either way, which is to give you guys lessons that I have learned in my life that can hopefully help you in any shape or form. And this time it's kind of special because I'm going to be talking about a lesson that you guys taught me throughout this, what is it, like almost 2 weeks? If you ever feel like giving up in your life, in anything that you're doing, I want you to watch this video. This is the video you can come back to. This is kind of the motivator that you can come back to when you feel like giving up. This is the video you need to get that strength back and keep going, okay? Whatever that is in your life, whatever it is. I'm going to tell you about my story, about what happened recently for me and how I learned that giving up will never get you anywhere in life. Anywhere in life. So in my last video, I mentioned how I had 11 subscribers and how nobody watches my videos, how only people that know me in real life watch my videos, but nobody that does not know me watches my videos. So I basically said that I was nobody online. And it was true. I have uploaded my first ever video actually a year ago almost, and nobody was watching my videos. Nobody was watching my streams. I had only 9 followers on Twitch, so it is what it is. I was very honest about it. I was very self-aware, as I had mentioned in that video. However, all of that has changed. What some people don't know is that 2 days after I made that video, I decided to go live for one last time. It did not work for me. Streaming did not work. Twitch was not on my best side. I was making these live sessions, gaming videos, and they were getting 0 viewers. It was really bad. At some point, I didn't even have bots sometimes. That's how bad it was. And I'm not saying that in order to do something, you have to have viewers. But unfortunately, if you are streaming, you of course want at least one person to drop by and at least say hi. But that didn't happen, and that's okay. I decided to give it one last try. And this time I was going to change the category. I was going to go for a study category and co-working because I had to do schoolwork anyway. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to have 0 viewers anyway, I might as well do something for school. So I'm going to join that and I'm going to film, like, I'm going to stream a study with me session, whatever. Let it be. I streamed for about, 2 hours in the beginning? Yeah, so like 2 hours in as I'm streaming and there's 0 viewers. And I get really sad. The VOD is gone now. Normally like it saves when you record, like when you stream, normally it saves your video, but I think it deletes after a while. So it's gone. But you could tell that I was really demotivated and I just wanted to quit, man. I wanted to quit. Honestly, I wanted to throw the towel and never stream again. It was too much for me because I had tried for a long time and it just never worked out for me, okay? And then I was like, you know what, Medi, this is not working. At least stay, keep streaming. You will save this stream and you will turn it into a YouTube video, like a study with me YouTube video. At least you'll have some form of content. Like, don't fully give up, okay? Don't leave it like this. I'm telling you, everything has changed for me. There's this theory, and a lot of motivational speakers use it. And the theory goes as following. They say that there's this moment where you really feel like giving up on something. But for some reason, you don't. Like you had this feeling like, okay, I want to give up. And then there's this 1% of motivation that you have left that says, you know what? No, we're going to do this. Even if it's just for a little longer, we're going to do this. I promised myself I was going to stream for at least 1 more hour. Okay, whatever. What happens then is that when you feel like you're about to give up, but somehow you don't, what happens at that specific moment is that all the rewards start floating in. Everything starts coming towards you. All the blessings start appearing out of thin air. When you feel like you're about to give up, but you somehow don't, shit changes. It's like, I don't know, you're at like your lowest point. You feel like you'll never do this thing again. And you somehow like, you're like, okay, a few more minutes or like one more day, and then everything fucking changes. I told myself, I've been streaming for like what, 2 hours? I'll stream for 1 more hour. When I made that decision, 5 minutes later, you guys are all flowing in. You guys are all coming in. All my blessings start coming in. Yes, I'm calling you guys the blessings that came to me at that moment. So if you ever like question if this theory is actually correct, like Medi, so you're saying that if I feel like giving up and I give into that 1% motivation I've left and I somehow just don't give up, I say like 1 more day, 1 more hour, 1 more this, 1 more that, come on, 1 more. And then all the blessings come in. Like how are we sure that theory is correct? Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. You are human example, real human example, proof that this theory is correct. Because you are the blessing that came to me at that moment. So you're going to have to question your entire existence if you're going to come here and question my theory. And I want you to understand that and take that with you. That whenever you feel like giving up, remember, Medi felt like giving up. But she said 1 more hour, and then all of you guys came in. All of you guys came in and you guys gave me the best, what is it, like week or 2 weeks that I've had in a really long time, and have completely changed my perspective, and I've finally been able to continue going. I was really about to give up, guys, but you are the reason as to why I didn't. So all I can do is try to give you guys the best advice that I can and give you guys some lessons I've learned, and this time you guys taught me something that you at that moment you need to take action. When you feel like giving up, that's when you take action. Another thing I want to say is that sometimes you know that the end result is going to be not so good, right? So imagine you're pulling an all-nighter and you have an exam the next day. I'm saying all-nighter because I'm in the study category anyway, so it might relate to you guys. Imagine you're having an all-nighter and the exam is tomorrow. And you know damn well that you don't know enough. Even if you pull through the all-nighter, you will still fail the exam. So most likely you will be like, okay, well then I'll just give up, I'll go to bed, because there's no point. There is a point. There is always a point. You will always lose when giving up. Throughout my study career, I've had the biggest fear of failure. So I only had 3 times in which I had given up on an all-nighter, simply because I was like, you know what, the result will be shit, respectfully. And when I tell you, I can right now recall these 3 times, these 3 moments as to when I've given up on those all-nighters. I can tell you every single detail of them. I can tell you what I was wearing. I can probably tell you which month it was in. Mind you, these are all like years ago. I can tell you the subject, what time it was, why I've given up, how I felt. I can tell you so much. And the reason as to why I can tell you all that is because whenever you give up on something, you build a mental video of evidence that you are someone who has given up on something before. So what that does is, and I don't want to be one of those, listen. I get it. I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that are going to be like, the grade does not matter. What matters is that you tried. Not true, okay? I'm not going to give that BS to you. Don't freaking worry. The grade does fucking matter. It determines a huge part of your life, and I'm not going to tell you the grade does not matter. But that mental memory that you just created is far more crucial. Giving up will always be more important. When you give up on yourself. You don't give up on the exam, you give up on yourself. And now, whenever you will have another all-nighter in the future, that mental video will keep playing. Whenever I want to do an all-nighter right now, I have that mental video playing in my head of 5 years ago as to when I've given up on that all-nighter. You think I remember that grade? You think I remember the grade I have received? Absolutely not. But I remember giving up. And I know how much that ruins my self-esteem. Whenever you give up on something, you fuck up your self-esteem. Goodbye. And it's really hard. You can get your grade up, but your self-esteem, that's really hard to get back up. That's once you fuck that up, it's really hard. I'll give you an example. You see like this guitar in the background, right? That I usually have in some of my videos. And some people ask me like, do you play guitar? Because I get it. I don't. That is one thing I've given up on. So when I was 10 years old, I had convinced my dad to buy me a guitar. And I remember how great the experience was. And one day, as I was learning, because I was going to teach it to myself, so it was going to be really hard. One day, I told myself, like, you know what? I'm terrible at this. Like, I was not doing the notes right. I was upset. And I felt like giving up. And I put the guitar aside. And I told myself, like, you know what? I'll come back. In like a week or two, I will learn how to play the guitar again. I'll just get back to it. But I need a break right now. 13 years later, almost 13 at least, I've never touched that guitar in my life again. The only time I touch that guitar is to vacuum my room because it's in the way. If that doesn't give you like a switch of like, oh fuck, then I don't know what does. Now, if I want to play guitar again, I have to go through, I created a mental block because I've given up. So I have that mental video. I have that mental video of me putting that guitar aside and never touching it again. I have that mental video of me giving up. So now whenever I want to play it again, I have to first fix that blockage that I've created. Because when you give up on something and you want to redo it, like you want to try again, it's 10 times harder for some reason. Because you've created that mental block, you've created that mental video, and it becomes really hard to do it again. Which is why you probably shouldn't give up. When I was doing this channel, I've mentioned, like my previous channel got terminated. And then I've given up on YouTube for like a year or two. When I tell you how hard, like it was so hard to start YouTube again, because I've given up, essentially. It was 10 times harder than it actually should have been. Because I created a mental block. You're like, oh, it's hard. Imagine I stopped streaming that one day. And I would have never met you guys in the first place. You guys are the blessed and I would have never received it. That's one thing. But imagine I was streaming that day. And I decided after 2 hours that I was going to press on stop streaming. Do you know how hard it would have been for me to start streaming again? When you give up, you make it 10 times harder to do it again. Because you've made it harder. You've created like this huge mental block that you have to psychologically go through. And don't do that to yourself. So when you stop studying right now, I promise you, every all-nighter you'll have in the future, I don't care if you don't believe me, you'll see it. Every all-nighter you'll have in the future, you will remember that time you've given up, and it'll be so hard to push through it because you have kind of broken your own promise and you've broken your own trust. And don't do that. When you give up, it's far more important. It's not about the end result. I could have streamed for like 8 more hours and nobody could have joined. It's not about that. It is about you giving up and then you create this mental block that sometimes takes years to get through. Don't do that. You're blocking yourself. You're fucking shit up for yourself. So yeah, I hope that this actually like resonates with some of y'all. So I guess there's 2 messages you can take out of this video, and that is that when you feel like you're about to give up, don't. Use that 1% of motivation you have left to do something, to keep going. Somehow. Make that one more video. Do that one more stream. Do that one more thing that you gotta do. That one more all-nighter, whatever. Because somehow, that's when your blessings come in. When you really feel like giving up and you do it, give it one more try, that's when everything flows in. Again, you question it, look at yourself, you'll stop questioning it. And another thing, as I mentioned, you create mental blocks. The more you give up, the more you'll become a person that always gives up. And you will have an issue starting anything. You quit drawing and then now it takes you like 3 months to process the mental block that you've created about drawing in the first place, and you do that. Now if I want to start playing the guitar, I have to go through the trauma I've caused myself by giving up. Because when you give up, you convince yourself that you're a person who's incapable of doing that thing, and then now you have to... Don't do that, bro. You're giving yourself mental damage. So if you're just watching this right now and you feel like giving up, understand that giving up will always fuck you up. It does not give you any advantages. And you pushing through right now, it will bring in rewards. Even if you feel that great, I promise you, at least that mental video will not haunt you for another 5 years. Thank you so much for your support. And I get it. People are like, come on, Medi. People come, people go. Blessings come, blessings go. But the lesson remains. And this video remains. And I hope that it can help someone. It can help you guys, but it can help anyone who feels like giving up. Because I know what it's like. I know it's hard. But that one more try might actually be your breakthrough. And your breakthrough does not need to be 1 million views or these big goals that you have. Or like I said with the guitar, that you can play any Adele song, or it doesn't have to be. But it could just be that you got a note right finally. Or that you finally have people who are joining your stream and who are following you, who are supporting you. And it doesn't have to be 1 million people. It can just be a few people that completely change your perspective of life. And that's what you guys did for me. So I really hope that I can help you with your own perspective as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again in the next video when I do yet another thing. Thank you. Bye-bye.